Hey guys, so I wanted to take a second and address this Webull trade as we had a little bit of a pullback yesterday on Webull. And let's talk about what happens if a cash secured put goes against you and how to recover from it using a covered call. So last week we talked about selling the October 10th cash secured put with a strike of 1350 and collected some premiums on that. I'm going to bring up our spreadsheet to take a look at that and get rid of my face so it doesn't block it like it did last week. And then we're just going to go over some numbers. So last week we sold this Webull cash secured put with a 1350 strike and we collected a made premium of $79 on this. That essentially brought our cost basis, if we were to be assigned on these shares, down to $12.71. Yesterday, we saw Webull crash down to around $12 and we're recovering a little bit here in the pre-market. But I wanted to make a quick video to say, hey, what happens if we actually got assigned at this $12 number, right? So how do we make some money on this if we were to get assigned? So let's understand the situation. When we sold the put, we agreed to pay for those shares at $13.50 per share, but we collected a premium on those, which brought our cost basis down to $12.71 effectively. Now, if we were to be assigned and the stock crashed down to $12, that's an unrealized loss of about $71 for the trade, or 71 cents per share. So not a huge loss, but we should know how to get out of it or how to use that in our advantage to make some money on that. So how do we do that? What we would do is we would sell a covered call if we were to be assigned. So let's head over to our options chain again and see what options we have available to us. So last week we sold the cash secured put at this $13.50. Let's go about 8 days out because we're looking at weeklies and do the same thing. Let's just stay consistent with this $13.50. So let's sell a covered call saying that we agree to sell our 100 shares or however many contracts you have at $13.50, and we want to collect the mid premium between that to create some cash flow in the meantime. So the mid premium here is going to be around 62 cents. All right, great. So let's analyze this. What does this look like? We now own these shares with a cost basis of $12.71. However, the stock crashed last night into $12 or yesterday, whenever it did, and we got assigned. This didn't really happen, but let's just say it did. We have a little bit of a recovery today, which is good in the pre-market. We'll see if it holds, but let's just say we still own it at the $12 mark, right? All right, so let's take a look at this covered call we're about to sell. So we're going to sell this covered call with a strike price of $13.50 again, and we're going to collect this mid premium of $62 like we talked about. This essentially now brings our break-even price from $12.71 down to $12.09 because we're collecting this premium again, reducing our cost basis on this trade. So now we're at what, $12.09 per share. So we have two really good opportunities here and two ways that this plays out. So if the stock stays below $13.50, meaning we wouldn't get the call assigned again and we would retain the shares, that call would remain worthless. We keep the shares and we pocket the premiums. So between the 2 weeks, we would have then collected $141 in profit on about $1,350 invested, which is a 10% return over those 2 weeks. Can't beat that return. That's great. If you annualize that, we're out at around 500% for those 2 weeks. Can't beat that. Now, if the stock climbs above $13.50 and we get those shares called away, we still keep both of the premiums, the $141, and we've effectively sold those shares with a strike price of $13.50 for $14.91. Which is your $13.50 strike price plus your premium that you've collected. So there's two ways to look at this. One, you either retain the shares and create cash flow by selling covered calls, or you get those shares called away from you through assignment. You get all of your money back, this $13.50 back in your account, and you've made the additional $141 in 16 days or 2 weeks with these two plays. Kind of a win-win situation, and this is why this strategy works so well. So this is how you recover and keep cash flowing after an assignment. And you don't really have to wait and hope. You just have to have a strategy that works for you to chip away at your cost basis until that stock moves back up. And you can sell them, sell cash secured puts, sell covered calls to make income in the meantime. So if this helped you understand how to recover from assignment or generate some income, just let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Happy to help.